Morning to all. We are dealing with a new topic, that is pharmacology. And all of you know that pharmacology is the science of drugs. It includes the pharmacy, therapeutics, and materia medica. It is derived from two Greek words, pharmakon, that is drug, and logos, meaning knowledge. So it is the branch of medical science dealing with the preparation, uses, and effects of drugs and medicine. That is the science of and theory of pharmacy. Pharmacology imparts knowledge regarding the drug actions on living organism or the effects produced on the system as a whole or on any particular organ or organs. In homeopathy, human proving is the most preferred source of material, as both subjective and objective symptoms can be elicited. The fundamentals of homeopathic pharmacology is to explore the peculiar and characteristic pharmacological languages and therapeutic potentiality of each drug. The axial skeleton of homeopathic pharmacology rests on the theory of dynamics. On the similia similibus also. The dynamicity of the drug, which was latent and said to be the curative power, has been explored in Hahnemannian pharmacology and is utilized according to the therapeutic level. So, another term related with the pharmacology is pharmacokinetics. Pharmacokinetics deals with the absorption, distribution, biotransformation, and excretion of drugs. Whereas the study of the biochemical and physiological effects of drugs and their mechanisms of action is termed as pharmacodynamics. So here we have to give the branches of pharmacology. So in our homeopathic pharmacy, the branches of pharmacology described as pharmacognosy and pharmacodynamics. Pharmacognosy, the term originates from the Latin word gnosia, meaning knowledge. That is, pharmacon meaning drug. That means crude drugs. That is the knowledge on crude drugs. These medicine substances in the natural or unprepared state, secured from plants, animal sources, including their history, source, collection, distribution, cultivation, identification, composition, quality inspection, preservation, and commerce, are dealing with the pharmacognosy. And the second branch of pharmacology is pharmacodynamics. It is a science or the subject of the powers or effects of drugs and medicines on human beings in health and disease. Pharmacodynamics carries a special significance in homeopathy as it deals with the dynamic action of drugs. The object of pharmacodynamics is to study the individual drug action over and above the general action. That means the generalized action will be obtained by administration of ordinary drug substances, but the dynamized drug application or the administration of dynamized drug deals or that produces individual drug action, or by the drug proving we will get the individualization of each drug by getting symptoms in all spheres of a person. And the various branches or subdivisions of pharmacology are pharmacodynamics, pharmacognosy, and toxicology also, another branch of pharmacology. This is a science of poisons and selection of antidotes for poisons. Then method for determining the disease producing power. In homeopathic literature, we can expect three types of methods. One is drug proving, homeopathic drug proving, and second one toxicological findings, and third one laboratory experiment. By these three methods, we will get the positive effects of drugs as well as the disease producing power of drug can be determined. The capacity or power of drugs to produce an artificial disease is ascertained through the following three procedures, especially for homeopathic pharmacology. The first one is homeopathic drug proving. The drug proving is a systematic or orderly way of investigating the pathogenetic power of a drug substance. Pathogenetic power means the disease producing power of a drug. So it is the systematic and orderly method of investigating the disease producing power of each drug. It is an experimentation on healthy human beings of different age, sex, and who are known as provers with varying doses from crude to highly infinitesimal potencies repeated at several times. One must take note of the sequential order of the phenomena, that is disease elements and symptoms, which form the true basis of homeopathic material. So here the drugs are called artificial disease producers or artificial morbific agents. So the drugs are capable of producing the signs and symptoms similar to that of various disease. So that is known as artificial disease producers. And second one, toxicological findings. That is of two types. One can be a poisoning or it can be an overdose. These findings of poisoning of the poisonous drugs reveal the ultimate effects. It indicates the morbid changes in the anatomical and physiological sphere. In poisoning, the subject is ordinarily a healthy one, whereas in overdosing, one must have occurred in sick persons who are taking the drugs as medicines. The revelations of morbid anatomy carry us a step onwards. They show the organs and tissues on which the poison exerts its influence. That is, it shows the pathological morbid changes. Toxicological changes produce morbid changes or pathological changes in the anatomical and physiological sphere in the human body, as well as on animals. And third one, laboratory experiments. The drugs are administered in varying doses on animals like guinea pigs, rabbits, monkeys, armadillos, rats, etc. to study the effects it is likely to produce on humans. In homeopathy, the drugs are administered in varying doses upon healthy human beings. So prior to that or before that, it is experimented on lower animals, especially vertebrates, to assess their effects on different organs or organ systems. Then the actual quantitative and qualitative changes imparted to the human beings, human organs, tissue functions, and metabolism of the provers are carefully observed. So the three methods to determine or to ascertain the disease producing powers of drugs are: one is homeopathic drug proving, second is toxicological findings, and third is laboratory experiments on lower animals. Then we can discuss pharmacognosy later. Now we can go to pharmacodynamics. The symptoms which the drugs produce on healthy human organism vary according to doses. The action of drugs on healthy humans. So, as per our homeopathic pharmacology textbooks, homeopathic drugs act on living organisms three ways. One, can be a mechanical action. The second can be a chemical action. The third can be a dynamic action. Mechanical action. The drug act mechanically by virtue of their bulk, weight, or character of surface. This action chiefly involves violent effects on the part of the organism to eject from its cavities the offending substance. Third gives examples of action of crude mercury and mucuna pruriens. Mercury was previously given to force a passage through obstructed bowels, and mucuna pruriens to detach a sterile parasite. So here, the drug acts mechanically by virtue of their bulk, weight, or character on the surface. And sometimes the body acts, or the effects, mechanical action can be produced on the body because of the drug. And second is chemical action. Chemical action is depending upon the chemical affinity which exists between the drug and the tissues of the body, and the independent of the vitality. The chemical action is by virtue of the properties of the molecules present in the substance and its capacity to undergo a reaction with another substance with which it comes in contact. The action of acids and alkalis are examples of. So the third one is dynamic action. The dynamic action of drugs embraces all effects of drugs which cannot be accounted for by physical and chemical laws. This, unlike those of the two former classes, are only produced in the living body. The dynamic action is contingent upon vitality and it results from the relation of peculiar properties of the drug to the susceptibilities of the living healthy organism. So dynamic action is entirely different from the mechanical as well as chemical action. Here, it is mainly depending upon the susceptibility of the healthy organism. So this time, I am inviting your attention to the type of drug action that we can expect in a modern medicine. So there, the type of drug action we can expect is that also three types of drug action. So drugs acts on the tissues in three ways. They can cause a stimulation, depression, and irritation. So three types. The drugs can stimulate. So that means the drug can be a CNS stimulant, or it can increase the activity of specialized cells, or it can depress the activity of specialized cells, resulting in diminished function. So barbiturates depress central nervous system, or it can irritate the drug. Irritation indicates the effect of drug on nutrition, growth, and morphology of living tissues. And the effect is characterized by inflammation, necrosis, etc. of various special cells. And in the next class, we can deal with dynamic action in detail. And I'm stopping now. Thanks, sir.